Akhi, is your goal really to make 100k per month? Now just think about it for a second. Is your goal right now for the business really to make 100k per month? Have you asked yourself why you're pursuing 100k per month? Because for me, when I put the goal for myself to making 100k per month, like I didn't really know why. Like I actually started putting that goal in front of me because I was following this guy on Instagram. And he basically just made 150k per month, like 2 years younger than me. And I got a bit jealous, I'll be honest. I was like, damn, I should be further ahead than I am. You know that feeling where you're thinking to yourself, I should be further ahead than I am. Because the expectations we set on ourselves when we first started the business was that we'd be doing amazing at this point, right? In like a year, 2 years, 3 years, the growth would be just out the moon. We'd be making millions, right? Like for me, I expected myself to be like a millionaire by 21. I'm not a millionaire. Alhamdulillah, close, but like I'm not a millionaire, right? The main point I'm trying to make to you is when I sat down and I put that goal of 100k per month, my heart didn't move. I didn't feel my intention be pure. And when I was making dua for the goal, I didn't make it with full faith. And that's because my real goal wasn't 100k per month. There was no reason for me to make 100k per month other than I literally saw somebody else make 100k per month. You see, I didn't start the business to be making loads of money. I started the business primarily to help out my mom. And I started the business so that I can live a life of freedom. I wanted time freedom, most importantly. I wanted to have time to do the things I really wanted to do. I wanted to have time so I can go to the gym without stressing about how much money I was going to make. I wanted time so that I can pray on time. I wanted time during Ramadan so that I can worship Allah fully. I wanted time to memorize the Quran. I wanted time to go and do ilm, right? To become a student of knowledge. I wanted time for those things. But I built a prison instead of my ticket to freedom. I built a prison and I chucked away the key. I became a slave to my business. And when I set that goal of 100k per month, a part inside of me, my heart was telling me, you don't want this. All this is going to do is take up more of your time. And so right now, if you've set the goal, maybe it's not 100k per month, right? Maybe your goal, maybe you're currently at 5k and you want to push to 10k. Maybe your goal is 20k, 30k, 50k, whatever your goal is. Ask yourself this question. Why are you pursuing it? Are you pursuing it to get more time freedom? Are you thinking that you'll get time freedom once you hit 100k? Are you assuming you'll get to your goal once you get to 100k? Are you assuming your parents will be more free once you get to 100k? The life you want isn't behind the money. It's behind the way you run the business. You see, the biggest mistake I made was that I was working in my business the entire time. Like I said, I built a prison for myself. And that meant that even when I hit 30, 40, 50k per month, I was still locked into this prison. I was locked into the prison and I didn't even have time to make proper dua on Friday in that last hour. Sa'at al-ijaba, the time that Allah answers your dua. Why? Because my mind wasn't even on that. My mind wasn't even on making dua. I forgot to even take that moment for ibadah, and I was just focused on working, focused on quote unquote scaling. I hated my business. And the reason I hated my business was because it was the exact opposite of what I wanted it to be. And I remember sitting down one day and I was listening to this podcast, and one of the books they mention, I think it's called like The E-Myth. Yeah, it's called The E-Myth, that's it. And one of the chapters is, I think the first or second chapter, the author talks about systemizing a business. He talks about being able to remove yourself from the business completely. And I've heard of this, I heard Iman Gaji talk about it in one of his sales events. I heard other people talk about it. I heard Sam Evans talk about it. I heard Hormozy talk about it, but I never really understood what it meant. And it wasn't until I read that chapter, 3 times by the way, I read that chapter, to fully understand what he was talking about, that I understood I wasn't building a business, I was building a job. Just a very lucrative job. And that if I wanted time freedom, what I had to do was 3 things. So he spoke about 3 things, but there's actually 4 things I did personally, right? Because I feel like when I applied those 3 things, there was still something missing. The first thing to do was to let go. Let go of the sense of control that you have. That was the first thing to do. Let go of this obsession you have over the business. Let go and realize that the person, well not the person, astaghfirullah al-azim, but the being who allowed you to grow that business was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the first thing. Let go of your attachment to the business and realize that this entire blessing has come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second thing you do is you write down everything you do during your day. Every single thing, every activity, from jumping into the shower to making food to writing down something on your whiteboard, whatever it is, write it down. This is something you do to potentially grow the business. The third thing you do is once you've listed everything out, you go, well, which parts actually move the business forward? And your business moves forward in 3 ways. Your business moves forward if you can sell, if more people find out about you, and if you can deliver an amazing service or product or whatever it would be. Those are the 3 things that move your business forward. So for example, for you, right, like if you don't have any sales, the business is going to shrink. However, if you have loads of sales, but then your service or your coaching is absolute crap, then nobody's going to continue buying from you, and you should fix that as soon as possible. And so you fix those 3 things. You have more people know who you are, you sell to more people, and you build a better product. When I made this list for myself, I realized there were so many activities. Like I'd always check my emails obsessively. Like I'd always check my emails like every morning, every afternoon. I'd check my DMs. I would check my WhatsApp messages. Like I'd spend at least 2 hours a day, email, Instagram, or WhatsApp. At least 2 hours a day on those 3 things. Just complete waste of time, right? They're low leverage activities. So what did I do? I outsourced it, okay? So that's the first thing you can do. You can outsource it, but you can also automate it. For example, with my emails now, I have an AI that just scours through my inbox. There's nothing particularly personal, so I don't mind AI going through it personally, but it just scours through, it sorts them out into what's important, what's not important, and once a day I check my emails. Once a day I check WhatsApp. And once a day I check Instagram. The rest, in terms of managing all the DMs and the important messages, especially on Instagram, is managed for me. So once you've made that list, right, the third step is to understand, okay, cool, well, which ones affect the business the most and which ones don't? And the ones that don't, are they really necessary to grow the business? Like checking emails, if I never did it, like generally, if I built my business without checking my emails, would I lose some money? Like, yeah, potentially. Probably not enough though. So maybe it's just not worth me checking my emails ever. I've thought about this, by the way. I've thought about just never checking my emails ever. And so you have to understand that when you make this list and you've let go already, you've let go of the business, you're not obsessing over being in control because you've let go, you've realized it's Allah who gave you all the blessings anyway. No matter how hard you worked, Allah decided to give it to you. So don't big yourself up and be like, oh, I have to do everything. Because if you obsess over the fact that you have to do everything, when it comes to step number 3, which is outsourcing and delegating and being able to build a team and systemize the process, and I'll explain to you in step 4 what that means and how you're going to grow your business maybe to 100K per month. But if that's your goal, understanding that you're going to do that with time freedom, not just pushing more, working more. When you are able to let go and give the work to somebody else and trust that person, you've already gained peace of mind. And so when it comes to step number 4, a mistake I made when I started hiring people is that they messed up and they made mistakes. Now then you might be like, how's that your fault, Fedi? It was my fault because what I didn't understand was that I had to walk them through the entire process from A to Z, walk them through the entire process, help them do it and watch them do it and correct any mistakes they make. I had to be a teacher. I didn't like, the example I can give is somebody who just like lets go of control. That's it, like they let go completely, right? Somebody who's responsible, like let's say a manager who tells their football team, you guys do what you want, do what drills you want to do whatever you want to do. And then he gets mad at them if they do something wrong. Whereas a good manager will give them the freedom to practice and do what they need to do, but he'll give them like a certain criteria to follow, like a certain checklist to follow. So what I ended up doing was like meticulously, I cannot express this enough, right? Like I had to pay like 30 grand to learn this, and you're learning it for free, alhamdulillah. Meticulously write down the step-by-step process to get something done, the specific thing done. Let's say managing my Instagram DMs, right? Or managing my Instagram inbox. Like I listed out every possibility, I listed out every single step, including how to open the DMs, how to reply, how to send a message, literally every single thing. So that way that person had no chance to mess up. And at that point, I didn't have to manage them anymore. I put so much work at the front that at the back end of things, when it came to actually like watching them do the work, I didn't have to do anything. So the 4 steps you need to follow, right? To like you're probably wondering why am I teaching you those 4 steps? You probably have already forgotten. Remember, you're not trying to build a business that makes more money. You would probably be happy. Let's be honest. If you were currently at 10K per month, right? Or whatever, like wherever you are right now, 5K, 10K, 20K, right? If you were to stay here, but you were to wake up and never touch the business, or maybe you touch it for 1 hour, like you work on the business for 1 hour a day, would you not be happy with that? Like, would you not want to push for more? Like, what's the point in 100K, right? Like my brother right now, alhamdulillah, he makes around like 4K per month consistently. He knows how much he's going to make every single month. He predictably knows how he's going to scale, right? Allahumma barik. But the most important thing is that like he barely puts time towards the business. And he's happy with where he is right now. He's happy like with how much time he puts in. And if he wants to scale, he knows how to scale. He knows exactly what he needs to do. but he's happy to stay at 4K per month and have complete time freedom. He spends time with his friends, he'll go out for a meal, right? Because he has the extra money to do so, right? It's not loads of money, but like he has the money to do so. And so I tell you this one more time. Why are you trying to push to 100K? And if your goal is just an ego goal and your real goal is to have more freedom, then follow those 4 steps. And I promise you now, bi'idhnillah, I can never guarantee anything other than what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guarantees to you. But I can promise you now, you yourself as a business owner, ya akhi, will feel like you're more in control because you would have let go all of the control. You'll feel like you actually have a choice. You'll feel like you're actually growing a business and not growing a job because you're actually building a business. You're growing a business that is systemized, a business that has things doing for you. Because again, you didn't start this business to just you didn't start this business to work 12-hour days, basically. You started the business for different reasons, right? And you didn't want a job. You purposefully worked hard so you didn't have to get a job. And now you are working a job, except your boss is you, right? You don't have any freedom. So yeah, inshallah, follow those 4 steps. Bismillah, you found the video useful. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment. Inshallah, I'll speak to you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Oh, actually, one last thing. Sorry, I know it's a bit random. I do have this video here to show you exactly how to systemize, like exactly how to figure out what you should and shouldn't be doing. It's a very short video. It's very actionable. I even give you the sheet about like how you're going to do it. So go ahead, watch that video. Like I said, it's going to show you exactly the process of like figuring out what activities you should continue, what activities you should outsource, etc., etc. So if you're confused about that, I should answer it. Assalamu alaikum ya akhi.